Antonio Brown, Lord have mercy. He retired as a Raider. He went there, and then he froze his feet. He caused all this controversy to try to get traded. He badmouthed the coach. He badmouthed the quarterback. He badmouthed the general manager. Never played it down and then got cut. If you just stick to the football field, he's a Steeler legend. That 6-year stretch that he had is literally unmatched. If you had Antonio Brown on your fantasy league team, he led you to fantasy league football victories. Him by himself. Does he deserve to have his number retired? Absolutely not. You can't be bad-mouthing your quarterback like that. He burned every bridge that Pittsburgh has. And there's a whole bunch of bridges in Pittsburgh. But is he still a Steeler legend based on what he did on the field? 100% absolutely.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, everybody? What is happening, man? Welcome back to Big B Daily. We are live. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you guys for showing up. This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley. What is going on, people? We got a lot to talk about again today. It's a good Thursday. We didn't have any games last night. No games last night. You know, it felt a little awkward, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll make do. We will still make do. So what we're talking about today, look, the Mavs, are they going to close it out tonight? I don't know, man. I got a sneaky suspicion that Minnesota may have found something. I got that suspicion. And then the Bronny effect. What is Bronny James going to end up doing? Not sure where he's going to get drafted, when he'll get drafted, if he's going to get drafted. We're going to talk about that. And then also some of these over-under on these betting odds on NFL teams. A lot of those came out yesterday. We're going to take a look at some of the over-unders and do we agree or disagree on those. So I appreciate everybody being here, man. If you're on a certain platform, continue to tap the screen. We need as many likes as possible, at least 5,000 likes and 30 new follows. So if you're in here and you're not following, please give us a follow. We appreciate that. Thank you. Let's get this thing up and going. Again, as always, people, if you like what we do and you want to help support the show, remember there are different ways that you can do that, whether it's gifts, whether it's super chat. Super chat, you help control the conversation. You'll always get your question up to the top, and we will shout you out immediately. So we appreciate that. Otherwise, good morning, everybody. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So first things first, let's talk about the Mavs and the Timberwolves. I think that the Timberwolves have found something. I think they win this game tonight. Now, I know it's a slippery slope, but I just think that they are going to win this game tonight. And matter of fact, I'm not sure the game's going to be all that close, to be honest with you. I think Minnesota is going to blow them out. I think Minnesota is going to blow them out. I think Cat has another big game. I think Anthony Edwards has another big game. I think they get it going at home. Nas Reed will have something to say. I think this game is going to be a blowout. So I like the Timberwolves tonight. Now, that doesn't mean that the Mavs can't pull something off. I just don't think they have any momentum. And I'll be honest, I think the Mavs are like, okay, they got a game. We gave them one. We didn't play well. Yeah, we're going back to Minnesota. They got momentum. And then the Mavs are thinking, okay, we'll go home and win it in 6. That's a dangerous game to play, man. I told you all the other night. I told you yesterday. I said they should have played with more urgency to win it in 4. Don't let your foot off the gas. And they let their foot off the gas. And they allowed for Minnesota to get back into this thing. They have allowed that. I don't like it. It is what it is. But we'll see. We'll see. And you're right. PJ shooting at home has not been good. Or it wasn't good last game. So If PJ Washington shows up, first of all, here's the thing to remember. Karl Anthony Towns played great. Anthony Edwards played great. They played great. Luka and Kyrie did not. They played bad. Let's just call it what it is. They played bad. Shooting numbers, triple-double aside, that was a bad game. If one of them just plays okay, like if Kyrie plays okay, they win the game. That's something else to think about. If Kyrie just plays okay, then they win. But he had a bad night, So there's that. So I think, but tonight I just have a feeling a ton of momentum, and I feel like Minnesota's going to be going downhill all night long. The momentum's just going to be rolling downhill, and they're going to roll the Mavs. This one will be a middle of the third quarter. This one will be over. It'll be over. I just have that feeling. I have that feeling. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Can Luka get it going? Can Kyrie get it going? Sure they can. The guys are some of the best players in the world. Absolutely they can. So, yeah, Cat needs to stay out of foul trouble. That's the thing. Cat could have had 35, 40 points the other night, but he committed 3 just stupid fouls. Just bad fouls. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Come on. You got to be better than this. Got to be better than this. Just bad fouls. And he still lit it up. If he can be on the court for 35 minutes tonight, we'll see what happens. I think that's good for them. I think that's great for them. But yeah, I think Minnesota ends up winning this game, people. I just do. I think Minnesota ends up winning this game. Anthony Edwards, he's going to be even talking even more shit, and I like it. Be confident. Be confident. Sometimes it gets a little tired, some of the stuff, but what he has said, it hasn't been bad. Hadn't been bad at all. So good for him and good for them. You know, there's different ways that the Mavs can. Is Lively going to play? That's another one. He got upgraded to questionable. See, I thought he had a concussion. I was like, man, when he got up, he was woozy walking around. I'm like, he had a concussion. But he sat on the bench the other night. And if he had a concussion, I don't think there's any way that they even want him at the game. I don't even think they want him at the game if he had a concussion. So it was good to see that he was at least there, sitting on the bench. Didn't play, obviously. But yeah, if he had a concussion, I think he would have just been at home in bed, trying to recover. So good that he was there. We'll see if he plays tonight. I kind of don't think he will. I think that they will let him rest. I know the Mavs need him because Kleba can't play. Kleba, he won't shoot. His shoulder, I'm telling you, he's going to have surgery after the season. He doesn't want to shoot because it hurts too bad. He wasn't super aggressive, didn't dive on the floor, didn't go for rebounds, all those things. It just didn't happen. So it's wild. So yeah, that they did say in the telecast that he doesn't have a shot. Yeah, they did say that. Kleba, he can't shoot the ball. He doesn't even want to shoot it. Like I said, it hurts too bad, and I get it. Raising his arm above his head causes the most extreme pain. Well, how do you play basketball like that? That's why I think Lively out there. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But Dwight Powell can't play. Hell, we saw Dwight Powell. He got out there. And twice he made dumb plays. Luka looked to the bench and was like, get his ass out of here. And they took him out and he didn't come back in. So they need Lively. They definitely need Lively. But I don't think he's going to play tonight. I don't think he will. I think they're going to rest him another day, which is good. So we'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. But, yeah, I just think the Timberwolves are just the better basketball team. Not the better basketball team. They have all the momentum right now. They have the momentum. And they're going to get out quick. They'll be up double digits at halftime. And by the middle of the third quarter, they'll go on a run, and that'll be the end of it. That's what I believe. Now, can I be wrong? Absolutely. Am I going to mind if I'm wrong? Nope. because I want Dallas to win the series. I want Dallas because I want Dallas to win this series. It said that from the beginning. I said Dallas in 6 at the beginning of the series. So maybe that's why I think they're going to get blown out. So Dallas will go back and win in 6, and I'll be right. But, it's just the way the series is going right now. Hell, Minnesota's been ahead by at least 5 points in every single game with 5 minutes to go in the game. In every game, they've been up. With 5 minutes to go, they've been up by 5. Every game. And 3 of those they've given away. So we'll see what happens. But give me Minnesota tonight. Give me Minnesota tonight. And like I said, don't be surprised if it's a blowout. Do not be surprised, because I will not be. So next up, let's move on, people. Let's move on. So Bronny James decides to stay in the NBA draft. Now, there have been people all over the place that have just been bashing LeBron, bashing Bronny, bashing anything about both of them, that they are furious. People are furious. To me, I think that is one of the more pathetic things that anybody could be. I mean, you're furious because somebody went into the draft, just because you or because I don't think he's ready, but just because they go into the draft, that we're mad? Why? I mean, why are we mad? I'm trying to figure that part out. Like, why do we care so much? If he goes and he's not ready, he doesn't deserve it. Well, okay. He doesn't deserve it. I'm the first person to say that he doesn't deserve it. But that doesn't mean that he shouldn't go. I mean, how many guys have we seen declare for the NBA draft or NFL draft or any draft that shouldn't? There's lots of guys. Now, here's the tipping point, is that people are upset because they believe that he's going to get drafted, that the only reason anybody's even talking about him is because of who his dad is. That is 100% true. Okay? That's not his fault. I mean, he didn't choose who his father was. He didn't choose for his dad to say the stuff that his dad said. He didn't choose for the media to cover him because of what his dad said. That's not his fault. But people are just he's terrible. He's only going to get to play 5 minutes a game. I'm like, well, that's 5 more than you and me. So why are you upset about it? I mean, there's plenty of guys in the NBA right now that play 5 minutes a game. And guess what? When they get into the NBA, if he isn't playing, nobody's going to be talking about him. They're not going to, oh man, Bronny James played 2 minutes tonight in mop-up time. That'll happen 2 or 3 times, and that'll be the end of it. Nobody's going to say anything until he gets real time. So I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. It's not that big of a deal. It's nepotism to its finest. It is 100% nepotism to his finest. It is. But isn't there nepotism in pretty much everything in this world? I mean, I got into an argument yesterday. Somebody said, well, how are you comparing athletic competition to somebody owning an organization? I go, nepotism is nepotism. It doesn't care whether it's an athletic competition or not. Why are you trying to separate the two? We've seen people get an organization handed down to them, or better yet, they get to run an organization that they're not qualified to run because their father owns the company. We've seen that. We see it all the time, and nobody says anything. That's okay. I mean, and nobody cares. We've seen it. But because it's LeBron, oh, yeah, it's a horrible thing. Nepotism's terrible. Really? Really? What are we doing? That's what happens. That's this world. How many times have we seen the college kid get into a college? They only hell, they got a name for it. It's called a legacy. They get into college because of who their parents were, or how much money their parents give to that university. That's the reason they got in. And nobody bats an eye. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But here, where they're saying, well, LeBron's demanding. Who is he going to demand? He hasn't demanded anybody do anything. They don't have to do what he says. Hey, LeBron, I want you to draft my son. Your son's not good enough. We're not drafting him. That's the end of that conversation. So that's all I'm saying. Jiminy Christmas. People are wild with this thing, man. People are absolutely wild. By the way, just as a reminder, make sure if you are on this certain platform, which it already froze up, click on the live link and you can come on over and you won't be. I like this comment here. My man, Mo Talk Sports. People need to pump the brakes on Bronny. He's a kid. Let's see what he becomes. None of us are who we are now when we were at 19. Exactly. A part of that, though, Mo Talk Sports, is the NBA. You know how the NBA is. If you're not at the peak of your abilities in the NBA by the time you're 21 years old, there's something wrong with you. They make kids feel that way. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. I'm the first person to say that Bronny doesn't need to be in the NBA. I think he could have spent another year in college and gotten better. But you know what? If that's not what they wanted him to do, if that's not what he wanted to do, more importantly, then so be it. So be it. So it's just what it is. Here's to a lesser degree, I think a lot of people have understood this kind of nepotism. My man X Capone played on a little league team, and the coach's son started when wasn't best suited to. But it is what it is. How many times did we see the coach's son play shortstop and he couldn't even field a ground ball? The coach's son was the starting pitcher. He didn't even know the definition of throwing a strike, much less be able to throw a strike. We see it, man. It happens. Bronny will be fine, says Darren Howard, but it's too early. He's being rushed by Bron's timeline. Absolutely is being rushed. He's 100% being rushed. And there's no reason for that. A lot of this is LeBron's fault. I've said it from day one. He didn't have to say the stuff that he said. He didn't have to do that. Bronny's not ready to play. He's not ready to be that guy. He isn't. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody keeps saying, oh, he's mid. He's mid. Okay. He's 19. There's a lot of mid guys at 19. So there's a lot of them. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't feel like that if he's a first round pick, everybody's going to say it's because of who his dad is. And that's fine. People can say that. And it might even be true. But so what? That's my whole thing is, so what? Why are you mad? First of all, I know why you're mad. It's because you're jealous. That's number one. But number two, it doesn't even affect you. So if it doesn't affect you, then why do we care so much? He's getting all this hype. So what? Who cares? That's who his dad is. He's going to get the hype. Other players, their son's getting all this hype. Well, it's not the same. I'm like, well, their dad wasn't LeBron James. Oh, what about Kobe? He didn't need help. Kobe is better than Bronny James. He didn't need the help. Oh, by the way, his dad wasn't near what LeBron James's dad is, so nobody's talking about him. Well, what about Klay Thompson? His dad was the number one pick. Again, his dad wasn't near as good as LeBron James. Oh, by the way, Klay Thompson was pretty good. He didn't need the help. So I'm the first person to say Bronny needs his dad. He needs the help. You know, he does right now. And is there anything wrong with that? Matter of fact, how many people in this world, just this world, have gotten a job because their friend recommended them? How many people got a job because their friend recommended them? And maybe or they were as good, or maybe they were capable of doing the job. Maybe they weren't. But they got hired because of who they knew. We've seen it. Happens every single day. So, and again, I'm not defending him. I'm not saying he's ready to play. I'm not saying that at all. So, all I'm saying is that the guy is he's using nepotism to his advantage. Just like a lot of people that are in that position. They're able to do it. A lot of people are able to do it, and they do it, and it's not that big of a deal. Great. My man Wakan says, I think Bronny is a mid-first to second round. Phoenix is favored to draft him with their pick. They are. I don't know if they will. I don't even know if they should. You know, but we'll see. We'll see. All I know is people say, well, he's too small. He can't do it. Didn't we just see TJ McConnell play in the Eastern Conference Finals? Wasn't he just fine? We just saw TJ McConnell play. And, oh, by the way, TJ McConnell isn't just, all he does is stand out there and shoot. That's not what he does. He's not no three-point shooter. He can't shoot like that. He don't even take three-pointers. They weren't even guarding him at the three-point line. And TJ McConnell is the same height as Bronny James. But guess what? He's a bulldog defender, knows how to handle the ball, can set up teammates, and can get into the lane. And he gets major minutes on an Eastern Conference Finals basketball team. Now, is Bronny James that this very second? No. But can he develop into that? Yes. I'm not saying he will, but I'm saying he can. So don't tell me that he doesn't have a place, because we just saw it in the Eastern Conference Finals. We literally just saw it. Oh, by the way, Bronny James can shoot. So for all the people out there that hate him, chew on that for a second. And stop being jealous. Stop being jealous. It's ridiculous. So I don't understand. Plenty of time to develop, Dad, or not. You will or you will not make the shots like anyone in the game. He won't play if he don't perform at a certain level. But give the kid a shot. I mean, somebody's going to give him a shot. I know that. Somebody's going to give him a shot. So, somebody will. Bronny is going to sit in the G League or next to his dad. Not your favorite team. Let it go, people. I mean, he's going to be on the bench for a while. Yeah, he is. I mean, but he's not going to sit in the G League. If he goes to the G League, he's not going to sit on the bench. So you're wrong there, Austin. But if he's on an NBA roster next year, he is not going to get 20 minutes a night. That's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen, people. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. So, yeah. People hating about Arch Manning because of who he's related to. Nepotism is a real thing. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Think about Arch Manning. Nobody says anything about Arch Manning. Arch Manning was the number one high school player in America. And how did he become the number one high school player in America? He didn't go to any camps where he competed against anybody else. He played low division football in Louisiana. So at the highest levels, because Louisiana plays really good high school football, he didn't play that. He played, if there's 5 divisions of Louisiana, he played at 2A. So he played small division football, didn't go to any camps, didn't compete against anybody, but he's the number one player in the country? How? Oh, his grandfather is Archie Manning, and his uncles are Peyton and Eli. So clearly he's probably pretty good. And I'm not saying he's not pretty good. I'm just saying based on the competition and what he had shown, there's no way for you to know that he's the number one player in the country. But he got that. Nepotism. Stop and nobody even says anything about that. Nobody complains. Like nobody complain. Oh yeah, he's Peyton Manning's nephew, not his son, his nephew. He must be the best player in the country. He must be, has to be, and nobody says a word. Mm, mm, mm. That's all I'm saying, people. That's all I'm saying. Is that sometimes things aren't what they seem. And sometimes it's just jealousy. Sometimes it's just jealousy. So it is what it is, though. It is what it is. We can't make this stuff up. Personally, I can't wait to watch the storylines. I can't either. I want to see it. I want to see what happens. So I want to see what happens. Yeah, and this is a great point. And Bronny is much more of an athlete than TJ. Just needs the experience. Exactly. If you're trying to tell me that Bronny James can't be what TJ McConnell is, you're wrong. Is he going to be that next year? No, absolutely not. But you're telling me he can't be that in 4 years when he's 22, 23? He can't be that? Come on, people. What are we doing? So, and yes, Darren Howard, this is a perfect draft for Bronny. This draft is the worst draft maybe in modern history. This is the worst draft in modern history. No superstars out there. The best play, it's not even where you could say, oh, but there's a Wemby. There's not even that. Even though the number one guy, again, is from France, there's not even that guy. Terrible draft this year. And I think they weighed all of this and like, yeah, he's got a chance to get drafted because this draft is light on talent. So why not go out this year? It's a good idea. It's a good idea. So I like it. So I think it's perfect. I think he's going to get into a situation as long as LeBron keeps his mouth shut. He's going to get into a situation to where he can learn. Maybe he gets 5 to 8 minutes a night. Maybe he doesn't, and develops a game for himself. Goes and develops a game. So I don't like that picture of the Magic in him that I have my graphic up on. And LeBron goes to the Magic. Wouldn't that be funny if LeBron went to the Magic because they drafted his son? I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see LeBron leaving Los Angeles, but he might. He just might. You never know. You never know what people will do these days, man. You have no idea. You have no idea, especially when it comes to their kids. You know what I'm saying? People do a lot of things for their kids. So LeBron might say, damn it, you went to Portland, I'm going to Portland. You know, you go to Orlando, I'm going to Orlando. You go to New Orleans, I'm going to New Orleans. You just never know what what a man will do for his child. You just don't know. You just don't know. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway, as I was mentioning before, remember, Big B Daily. I appreciate everybody being here. We're 9 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Thank you guys for showing up, man. Thank you for showing up and showing out. I appreciate you guys being there. Again, you want to control the conversation and you like what we do, want to help support the show, click the links in the bio. There's tips, likes, follow, subscribe. There's also a super chat that gets you an immediate shout out. So, and get you up on the screen. So we appreciate that. Thank you guys. So let's move on. So some of these odds came out on NFL teams, the win totals, and I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree with a lot of these crazy odds, man. So the one, and I'm going to start, hey, you have your own show. You can talk about what you want to talk about. The one that I'm going to start with is the Steelers. There was 2 different ones. Now, I saw One was 8.5. I think that's still low. But then I saw ESPN had 7 point. First of all, it was 7.9. I'm like, how the hell is it 7.9? And maybe it was a typo. It needed to be 7.5. But we're saying the Steelers are only going to win 7 games? That's crazy. That's crazy. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. And now we're saying that he's not only going to have a losing season, they're going to be 3 games under 500? Come on. Come on. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So 9-8 is the floor for the Steelers. 13-4 is the ceiling. I'm predicting that they actually go 11-6. That'll happen. That will happen. So, but we'll see. Some of these, though, I'm not sure. Like, I see the Jets. They're all over the place, but 9.5. Here's the thing about the Jets. I like them. I have the Jets as the best team in the NFC East right now. So I like the Jets. So 9.5 to me, if they're going to win the division, I think that's a little low. I think it's a little bit low. So, or the Rams, 8.5. That seems tricky, but I think the Rams are a minimum a 9-win team this year. I like what the Rams got going on. Bears, 8.5. Now that's about dead on because I think the Bears are going to win 8 to 9 games. They're going to win 8 to 9 games this year. A lot of people don't like the Bears. A lot of people don't like Caleb Williams. They're mad at Caleb Williams. They don't like his personality, so they don't like him. So, I don't know. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's a good quarterback. You don't like his personality, get over it. Get over it. I mean, Joe Namath went on television and made a commercial with a mink coat and pantyhose on. And nobody questioned his football ability. And just think about that for a second. Joe Namath made a commercial with a mink coat. Matter of fact, he wore the mink coat on the sidelines with a mink coat and pantyhose. And nobody, number one, didn't question his sexuality, even if that's a thing that we're doing these days. And number two, they didn't question his football ability. Pantyhose in a commercial. That was okay. A guy painting his fingernails. Oh, no, God, I can't have that. La, la, la. Give me a break. Give me a break. Nobody thought about that part of it, though. They don't think about that. All they want to do is badmouth Caleb Williams. They don't think about, well, did anybody else do that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Joe Namath wore pantyhose in a commercial. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Now, here's one that I'm taking the over because I actually think that Washington, the 6.5, I think Washington is going to win at least 7 games this year. What do you guys think? I think they're going to be a better football team than what a lot of people think. I don't think they're going to win the division. I don't think they're even going to challenge to win the division. But I think the Commanders are going to be better than what people think. They're not going to be the cellar dweller of that division. That strictly belongs to the Giants. That is a Giants thing. I think the Commanders are going to be better than that. So that win total for them, yeah, that win total is going to go up, in my opinion. It's going to be higher. Atlanta, 9.5. I think that's low for Atlanta. I think Atlanta's going to challenge for that division. I think Atlanta, I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta wins 11 games. Not going to be surprised if Atlanta wins 11 games. If Kirk Cousins was their quarterback last year, and let's just say he was healthy all year, if he was their quarterback last year, I think they win 3 more games. I think they at least win 10 games. Minimum. Their quarterback play last year was so bad, it wasn't even funny. And Cousins is miles better than Ritter or Heineke. Lord have mercy. So I think that's low for Atlanta. So, hey, man, anytime I can make people remember some stuff, I want to do that. Broadway Joe in pantyhose. Nobody questioned it. Nobody. It was okay. Caleb Williams paints his fingernails. All of a sudden, he can't play quarterback. Gee, Christmas. Now, here's a tricky one that I saw. Cleveland. 8.5 for Cleveland? See? You Cleveland Browns fans out there, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. I didn't say 8.5. This is what people are predicting. 8.5 wins. What do you think? There's some people out there that said Cleveland's going to win the division. And I keep telling people, pump the brakes. Cleveland is still going to Cleveland. Or the Browns are going to Brown. Hold on a second before you keep telling me they're going to win 11 games. Come on now. The Browns are going to win 11 games? Come on. Come on. And they won 11 games last year. How many times have the Browns done that in a row? Because they were a really good team last year, even with the quarterback shuffle. They were a good team. How many times have the Browns been a good team back-to-back years? When was the last time you can even think of that? That the Browns have been a good team in back-to-back seasons? Come on, man. Was anybody alive? Lord have mercy. If you were, it was the 80s? When they choked away 2 chances to go to the Super Bowl? Those are the Browns. Those are the Browns. Houston, 9.5. I don't like that. I think that's low for Houston. I think Houston's going to be better than that. So, somebody's saying that because Joe Namath wasn't a rookie, that he wore pantyhose, but it was okay because he wasn't a rookie. So, just so I'm clear, if you're a rookie, you can't wear pantyhose. But if you're a second-year guy, it's okay to wear pantyhose. Is that what we're saying? Is that what it is? Is that, hey, you're a rookie, you can't wear any pantyhose. Hey, you're a second-year guy, man, you can wear pantyhose. It's okay. Thank you. What are we doing? What are we doing? Lord have mercy. Hey, you can't paint your fingernails, man. You're a rookie. Oh, you're a second-year guy? Yeah, you can paint them. You can paint them. Ugh. I don't know. Eagles, 10.5 wins. I think that's a little high for the Eagles. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Eagles this year. I know they've rebuilt their team. I'm just not a fan. We'll see. I'm not a fan. Are people that big of a fan of the Eagles? I'm not. I'm not that big of a fan. Broncos, 5.5 wins. I think that's high. I think that's high for the Broncos. 5.5 wins? Yeah, I think that's high. Giants, 6.5. I think that's super high. Lord have mercy. If the Giants get to 4 wins, if the Giants get to 6 wins, Brian Daboll needs to be the coach of the year because they got a terrible roster and a terrible quarterback, by the way. So we'll see. We will see. I was looking for, and I can't find them. There they are. Detroit, 10.5. I don't know about Detroit. I did 10.5. It seems a little low for me. I think Detroit's going to come out like gangbusters. Again, you could say the same thing about the Browns that you could say about Detroit, is that when was the last time Detroit's been a really good team back-to-back seasons? But I believe they've turned the corner. I don't believe Cleveland has turned the corner. I believe Detroit has turned the corner. So I think that's low. I think they're going to win 12 games this year. I think they are going to win 12 games. So Jacksonville, 8.5. Did Jacksonville just fall off the map? Was it a fluke? It seems like the year that they won the division and that playoff game, it was a fluke. Is it? I don't know. Here's one that I think is really low is Tennessee. I think Tennessee, it's only 6.5. I think Tennessee's going over that. I think Tennessee is going over that. So, yeah, I think Tennessee's going over that. My man, Ty, thinks the Dolphins will be good. I don't see it. Are you giving away defensive tackles? I don't see it. But, I mean, they'll be okay. They'll be okay. 8-9 wins for the Dolphins. So, but we'll see. We will see. Either way, I like what they're doing. We're going to move on. I appreciate y'all. So, what questions do we got? What do we want to talk about in the Q&A section, man? We got anything? What do we got? It says repeat of last year, 12-5 for the Detroit Lions. I agree. I think Detroit's going to be really good. Detroit might actually be mad that they gave away the NFC Championship game last year, and they come out with an attitude. Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I think they come out with an attitude. And they try to put that behind them. Quickly. I'm a believer in them. Steelers' first losing season, not going to happen. Not going to happen. They said the same thing last year. And the Steelers won 10 games with Mitchell Trubisky, Baby Hands Pickett, and Mason Rudolph as quarterback. Come on now. The offensive line's better, and the quarterback play is miles better. Now they're going to have a losing season? Come on. Oh, by the way, they had the worst offensive coordinator probably in the history of the NFL as their coordinator. At some point, people just got to stop. I know we're mad at the Steelers, but we got to stop. Just likes to get me going. I know you do, but you know you're wrong. I get it. Big B, what do you think about the rumors New England trying to trade Juju? I think the rumors are true. Juju doesn't have a place in New England anymore. They don't. But I don't know who's going to trade for that contract. Unless New England decides that they're going to eat a lot of that contract, I don't know who's going to trade for that. I did a segment yesterday on Steelers Almighty. By the way, go check out Steelers Almighty on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcast. And we did a segment on that yesterday talking about Juju. That last year he had 29 catches for 260 yards, but hell, he had 90 yards against the Steelers. So that was like 35% of his yardage for the season came in one game. Yeah, that's never good. So, and he was hurt. He only played 11 games. He only started 7 of those 11. So I don't know who's going to trade for that contract for Juju. I thought the Steelers could bring him in, but under no circumstance should the Steelers trade anything for him. He's going to have to get cut. And if he gets cut, okay, bring him in. But if I was a team, I wouldn't trade for Juju and pay that money. Absolutely not. He's owed like $8 million, 8.1 or something like that. I wouldn't give him that. I wouldn't trade for that for sure. There ain't no way. Ain't no way. So, it's a good point by my man X Capone. Says Detroit has turned the corner and it's got better chemistry. Yeah. Seems like that the Fords have gotten out of the way from dipping their nose into football business and let the football guys just handle it. And now that they've done that, the football guys are doing their job and the chemistry is better on the team. So good for them. Ben Tatum, what would trade value be for Juju? A 7th-round pick. Nothing more. If somebody gave up more than a 7th-round pick for Juju Smith-Schuster, they're crazy. And I wouldn't even give up that. I would just say, hey, you want to cut him? You can cut him, but we're not going to trade you for him. We're not going to give you anything for him. I wouldn't. There's no way I would. No way in the world that I would give up anything for Juju. So, what else we got, people? What else do we got? Do we like what we talked about yesterday? Do we like that Major League Baseball has incorporated the Negro League stats into the record books? Do we like that? You know, I heard a lot of conversation about that yesterday. Had a lot of conversations online about it. And I was one that says, I love that they are giving them their due. I'd love that fact, but I'm still conflicted because they didn't play in the major leagues. Now, I know why. I mean, there's no question that I know why they didn't play. I mean, it was 100% racism, but they still didn't. So, I don't know. I don't know. Ty says, might be going to the Dolphins and Packers games on Thanksgiving. If you get the opportunity, you should go. You get the opportunity to go to a Thanksgiving game anywhere, you should go. But yeah, the Major League Baseball incorporating the Negro League stats. I mean, and it's like one of the things that they did, like the on-base percentage record. We saw Barry Bonds have that record. We saw what it looked like. It was the most incredible thing that I've ever seen, that people just wouldn't pitch to him. If they did, he hit the ball a mile. You could not get the guy off base. You couldn't get him out. We watched that with our own eyes. And now he's fifth without anything happening. Now he's fifth. I don't think that's necessarily right. And I said it yesterday. Ty Cobb was one of the most racist men on earth at the time. And he was the all-time leader for batting average. And now he's not. Well, I don't feel bad for him because he was a racist. So I don't feel bad that he's no longer known as that. However, Josh Gibson, again, who overtook that, it's like, well, he didn't play. I mean, what was the pitching like that he was going against? It's not that the Negro Leagues didn't have major league players, but all of them weren't. Let's be honest. They all weren't. So I don't know. It's a mixed bag. Let's see. Do you buy college football preview magazines? I used to. And I wasn't loyal to any of them. I would literally look at the cover and open up the pages and look inside, and the one that I thought was the best, that's the one I bought. And it was usually a different one every year. Phil Steele, Lindy's. Yeah, I wasn't loyal to any of them. And I will probably end up buying one this year too. And what I do is I go on vacation every year. When I'm on the plane, I usually read it while I'm on the plane. So I'll probably end up picking up one and reading it on the plane again. Let's see. What else do we got? While we're on baseball, says my man Austin, do Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Roger Clemens, etc. belong in the Hall of Fame? Yes. Bonds, Clemens, and A-Rod. Look, if they were the only guys doing steroids, then I would say no. Yeah, they don't belong. But since we do know that 70% of Major League Baseball was doing steroids during that era, how are you keeping out the best players of that era? 70% were doing steroids. And yeah, it might be unfair to the guys that weren't, but they let in other guys that in the book, a lot of this was based on Jose Canseco, him writing a book and basically just snitching on everybody. Ivan Rodriguez. How the hell is he in there? We saw Ivan Rodriguez lose 40 pounds in an offseason. They come out, say you can't do steroids anymore. We're going to start testing you for it and suspending you for it. All of a sudden, Pudge loses 40 pounds. Come on, man. The hell's going on? What are we doing? Bagwell. Hell, Big Poppy. Come on, man. These guys, they're letting in some guys and they're not letting in some guys. And then they put in a guy like Mike Mussina. How the hell is Mike Mussina in the Hall of Fame? At no time was Moose ever considered a top 5 pitcher in the league. At no time was he considered that. But that guy gets in the Hall of Fame? What? Look, Scott Rowland, and I'm biased. Scott Rowland grew up and played high school at Jasper, Indiana. That's about 50 to an hour away from where I grew up. Played against him in high school. Saw him play. Was an incredible baseball player and basketball player, by the way. He was going to Georgia on a basketball scholarship had he not got drafted in the first round to play baseball. But he's in the Hall of Fame and Barry Bonds is not? Get out of here. Get out of here, man. So, yes, I think those guys should be in. I don't think they will until they're dead. That's their punishment, is that they'll put them in, but they're going to have to be dead first because that's what baseball does. And the baseball writers are such hypocrites and so pathetic. You knew Bonds was doing steroids, but that didn't keep you from voting him to be the MVP 4 times after he was taking steroids. That didn't keep you from voting him MVP, but now you want to get back at him, so now we're not going to vote him in to be in a Hall of Fame. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, My man Ruben says, what's more impressive, a $2,000 rusher or $2K wide receiver? Wide receiver. Number one, because we haven't seen it before. We've seen a 2,000-yard rusher. Now, granted, it was back when they ran the ball a lot, but to be able to catch the ball and get open like that for 2,000 yards, we've never even seen it. So it'll be interesting if we do. We thought we were going to see it last year, and we didn't. Pete Rose. Pete Rose was betting on baseball. That's a little different. When you're deciding the outcomes of games based on your betting habits, that's a little different. The guys with steroids, you could say cheating is cheating, but at least the guys that were taking steroids were trying to win. Pete Rose wasn't even trying to win. He's throwing games based on how he bet. That's different. That's totally different. And I don't know, you're saying Mark McGwire dang sure should be in. Go look, outside of home runs, Mark McGwire wasn't that great of a baseball player. Yes, he hit a lot of home runs, and so you could put him in for that. But you never heard, Mark McGwire is one of the best baseball players out there. You never heard anybody say that. Home run hitter, yes. Best baseball player, no. So, and there you go, Wacan. Pete Rose needed a fall guy. You daggone right. Pete Rose needed a fall guy. Just like Ohtani has a fall guy, Pete Rose needed a fall guy. He needed one of his boys to step up to the plate. So that's my whole thing with that is Ohtani. Man, if y'all haven't heard the David Justice interview, so y'all need to look it up. David Justice just lays it out there. And he basically says, now, hold on a second. You're telling me that all these millions of dollars are missing, and you never once looked at your financials to say, hey, why is $16 million gone? Why am I missing $16 million? Where did that go? You never looked up. Or better yet, your financial guys. Your financial guys never saw this money. Hey, why is $4 million being wired out of your account? Hey, what's going on here? What's happening? Nobody said anything. I'm just trying to figure that out. Nobody said nothing. He never looked at his own account. But yet, we're supposed to believe that he knew nothing about it. Oh, by the way, he also, Otani, a guy that was betting with the same bookie that his interpreter was betting with, happened to be his best friend on the Angels. Interesting. So your best friend on the Angels is betting with this guy. Your interpreter is betting with this guy. It's millions of dollars that's being bet from your account, but you know nothing. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So just don't want to hear it. Now, here's a good question from Jeff. What should the criteria be for a Hall of Famer? You know, that's a good question. First of all, I don't think you should have a certain number of people that have to get in every year. I don't believe that. If nobody is good enough to get in and they don't get the votes, then that's it. So I don't think there should be a criteria. That's number one. Number two, they have to be considered one of the best players while they were playing. I'm not saying they have to be the best, but they have to be at least in the conversation, especially at their position. If like Mark McGwire, was there ever a time that Mark McGwire was considered one of the best first basemen in baseball? Hell no. But he was a home run hitter. So you count that. That's something. He's one of the best home run hitters of his time while he played. So that counts. But like Sammy Sosa was a much better player, overall player, than Mark McGwire. Hell, and that's what I'm talking about. So it's stuff like that. That should be the criteria. And it's common sense. Look, there's some things that are out there that are debatable. But whether you're one of the top players at your position is not really debatable. I mean, nobody's going to say, oh, man, Derek Jeter wasn't one of the top players at shortstop. Alex Rodriguez, he wasn't one of the top guys. Nobody's saying that. That's all. So I think that could be the criteria. It's a tough conversation, but I just think you have to be. They let too many people in these Hall of Fames these days, in all of them. They just let too many people in. It's become the Hall of Very Good. And I used to think that it was the Hall of Fame, but they've changed that, and it's not the Hall of Fame anymore. It's the Hall of Very Good. You are a very good player, so we're going to put you in the Hall of Fame. We're going to vote you in. And I think it's garbage. I don't think they should do that at all. But that's just me talking. That's just me. Appreciate everybody being here, man. We're going to shut this one down for today. So appreciate everybody showing up. Again, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We appreciate everybody being here. Tomorrow, Friday, top 10 list. Not sure what it's going to be. We'll find out. Make sure you guys show up. More importantly, tell a friend to do the same. I will holler at you guys tomorrow, man. Aloha.